Hi, I'm Jacky. I'm an author, emotional freedom technique practitioner, as well as a spiritual coach. Today, we're going to focus on what is emotional freedom technique. So emotional freedom technique, it's also known as EFT or tapping. So you might hear me interchange those. And how it works is we take our fingertips and we tap on meridian endpoints. I'm going to explain it a little bit more than that. That's like the really simple version. So meridian endpoints, if you're familiar with acupuncture at all, they're part of the Chinese meridian system that's been around for over 5,000 years. And instead of inserting needles into the meridian endpoints, we tap on a select few of them. And when we tap on them, what happens is it reduces our cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone. When we're going about life, we have so much going on. We have long to-do lists. We take the kids here and there. We have classes we want to participate in. We have significant other in our life. We have so many things going on. And when we have all those things going on, our stress rises. And that is our stress level, our cortisol, the hormone I was just speaking of, the stress hormone, it increases. And when we tap on meridian endpoints, so I'm just showing you a couple, but I'll show you them in just a moment so you can see all of them close up. When we tap, it helps reduce that cortisol in our body, and our body begins to calm down. So I have a lot of people that ask me, what is this EFT thing? Is it even legitimate? Does it really work? And for me, my answer is yes. I used to be skeptical of it. It looks weird because we're tapping on ourselves. And I thought, that's a little weird. But when I tried it, I had such good results that over time I decided to get certified and become an emotional freedom technique practitioner. In my experiences, I had so many positive ones, shifting emotions from my past, shifting limiting beliefs that were no longer serving me, clearing out pain in my body. I actually share about many of those in my book. This is about healing and forgiveness after childhood sexual abuse. And I have multiple stories in here about the different ways that I used emotional freedom technique to help me release my past, let go, and move on to a better future and feel that freedom on the other side of working through those kind of yucky emotions. When we have emotions that are stuck in our body, so most people aren't taught how to process emotions. And when we have them stuck in our body, it starts to cause stress in our body. And when we don't manage that, the stress can cause physical pain and it can cause disease. And so when we apply emotional freedom technique to that, it helps to release that stuck emotion that we never were able to process. And it helps move it out of our body so it can release that physical pain. It can release the emotions that are in there, and it can help shift and calm our body down. Let's get close up. Take your fingers out. Could be your left hand, your right hand, it doesn't matter. And the first point is right on the top of the head. So not at the front, but more towards the back. But if you're looking in the mirror, you can see your hand in the mirror. So not the back of your head. So you're on the top, but towards the back. And you're going to use all 4 fingers to tap right there. So you can see that. And there's not a set number of times. You don't need to count how many times to stay on there. The next point you're going to move to is the inside eye. So right here, it's between the eyebrow and the bridge of the nose, and I take 2 fingers and tap right there. My hair is kind of hiding a little bit. The next point is on the outside, so you could trace your eyebrow, go along, and you can feel the corner of your eye there. And you're going to tap right there on the outside part with 2 fingers. So right there. And then the next point is right under the eye on the bone. You're going to tap there with 2 fingers. Now around your eyes, you want to tap enough so you can feel it, but you don't want to tap enough that you bruise yourself or hurt yourself. So no poking your eyes out, no bruising going on, just tap light enough so you can feel it. The next point is under the nose. You got this one. And then the crease in the chin. So right where your crease is, you're tapping there. Now the next 2 points, I want you to get out both hands and come along with me. Try this out. So imagine first where you would tie a tie, right about here. And then I want you to go down an inch and then take both hands and go over 3 to 4 inches and press lightly. You're looking for anything that causes a little bit of discomfort, and you're going to tap there lightly. So you're not actually tapping on the bone on this part, more the softer, meatier part is where you're tapping. So you're going to tap there with all 4 fingertips. Now, there's a super scientific reason why you want to tap with all 4 fingertips. It's so you hit the point with at least 1. And then, yeah, I'm a dork. It's okay. The next point is under your arm. So take your fingers, go under your armpit, down 3 to 4 inches. Men, it would be across from where your nipple is. Women, it would be where your bra band is. I want you to feel around there for points, for tenderness. You can usually feel it here more than you can up here. You're just feeling around here. Those are points that get sore because stuff gets stuck there. It can be energy that gets stuck. So you're feeling around. Now you can either do it this way, or you can take your hand across your body. Whichever is most comfortable for you is perfect. And when we do the full tapping round, you just need 1 hand. So you don't have to go like this. You don't have to go like this. You just will use 1 hand when we're doing the full round. So I'll quick show you the top of the head, inside eye, outside eye, under nose, crease in chin, collarbone, underarm. And we'll just repeat those over and over. So one of the big questions that I get is, because I teach people EFT, they come, they take a workshop to learn about EFT, or they take a group tapping session with me. Then they learn enough about EFT that maybe they don't need a practitioner. And that's one of the things that I love about EFT, is that it's a tool that helps empower you to help you on your healing journey. Now, why would you want to use an EFT practitioner then if I'm empowering you to do your own healing on your healing journey? So think about the times that, and I'm chuckling because whenever I say this, people think, well, I don't clean. So you know how to clean, you know how to vacuum, you know how to dust. I'm not saying you do it, I'm saying you know how. But when it comes to a really big job, like cleaning out the HVAC unit, the air conditioner, or the furnace, or getting the leaves out of the gutters, or just a bigger job, you might call and get some help. Because maybe that is not your expertise and you're not sure if you can climb up the ladder to get up there. And so that's where, with an EFT practitioner, helps you when you're not able to dig deep and figure out what's keeping you stuck. Or you've tapped and you've gotten the pain reduced in your knee, but you can't get it all the way out to a 0. Usually there's something deeper, something from early in your life that's contributing to whatever that sensation is that you're feeling in your body, or the stuckness that you're experiencing. So an EFT practitioner can help you go deeper than you can on your own. So I'm going to totally encourage you to go out on YouTube and go out on the internet and explore and learn more about EFT. There's a ton of practitioners out there, and you'll find the perfect one that resonates with you. And you'll also probably run across Gary Craig. Gary Craig is the man in the US, the United States, that gets credited for really starting to spread the word mainstream in the US about emotional freedom technique. So he offers a ton of free information on his website about emotional freedom technique, or EFT. So if you run across him on your search, there's a lot of great information that you'll find he's had a lot of experience. So check him out. Laura has a dear friend, Jean, that has been diagnosed, but the test results aren't back. So they're waiting for a confirmation. And this is a pretty common thing where we feel the stress of waiting how many ever hours, how many ever days that it takes for the test results to get back. So Laura and I are going to walk through this as an example for you. So Laura, when you think about your dear friend Jean, and she is waiting for the test results, but you're waiting as well. You're waiting for the answer. How are you feeling?
I feel nauseous a lot of the times and very hard to catch my breath.
Okay. So when you're thinking about the possible results that could come back, I want to measure the intensity of that nauseousness and having a hard time catching your breath on a scale of 0 to 10, because I mentioned getting down to a 0 earlier, but I didn't describe what that was. So 0 to 10 is the scale that we just take a measurement to see where you're at. So when you think about Jean and those test results and the possibilities there, and you're feeling nauseous, what's the intensity of that 0 to 10? 0, you don't feel it all. 10, it's super intense.
So I do my best not to think about it, but when it sneaks in, it's pretty strongly a 9.
Okay. And then the shortness of breath, when you think about Jean and those test results, and the shortness of breath comes 0 to 10. 0, you don't feel it all. 10, it's super intense.
That's almost a 10. That's almost worse than the nausea. So maybe I'd say 10 and an 8.
So let's just start tapping on the top of our head here and repeat after me. I'm feeling nervous.
I'm feeling nervous.
I'm feeling nervous.
I'm feeling nervous.
And even nauseous.
And even nauseous.
And I'm having a hard time breathing.
And I'm having a hard time breathing.
And when you're having a hard time breathing, Laura, is that when you're thinking about the possibility that the test results could be positive?
Kind of a worst outcome, yeah.
Okay. So just for a moment, I want you to focus on that worst outcome while we're tapping. Keep tapping and notice how you're feeling inside. Move to under the nose.
Super tight chest. A little bit dizzy.
And move to crease and chin and stay with me and keep allowing yourself to feel what that feels like. When we feel it, when we feel those sensations and we're tapping, it allows it to move out. So even though in this moment it's intense, it will start to dissipate and lessen. Move to the collarbone and go down just a little bit more. I want you to take a deep breath in all the way down to the bottom of your belly and slowly let that out. And do it again, and this time when you exhale, have your exhale be twice as long as your inhale. And I do this breath because it helps calm our nervous system down. It helps remind us that we are safe, because right here in this moment, you are safe. Everything is okay. It's just that when we think about a future event and the future possibilities, that's when the stress increases. That's when the cortisol goes up. Let's move to underarm. And so I want you to focus on the possibility, the worst outcome that could happen with Jean, and notice how your breath is now. Is it the same intensity that it was before?
It's close.
Close. So just share with me whatever thoughts you can about what's going through your mind.
Will she live is, I think, the biggest one. It's a pretty serious health concern. Will I be okay if she doesn't? How do I best care for her throughout the process? How do I stay strong?
Let's just stay right there and notice, will she live? Notice how you feel about that. And allow yourself to feel those emotions right there. Will she live? Just feel whatever's coming up for you. And remember to breathe. Because you're holding your breath. And move to under eye. And just notice the thoughts going on in your head when I say, will she live? There's a lot there. Allow them to flutter through and tell me if anything gets stuck, like it won't just leave. It keeps repeating, or will she live? Move to under nose. So if you're okay speaking out loud, just repeat after me. Will she live?
Will she live?
I'm not sure if she'll live.
I'm not sure if she'll live.
Allow yourself to feel all that right there. Because that's our biggest fear. And when we stay with it and feel it while we're tapping, it helps it leave. Because here's the thing is, our brains are hardwired for the negative. They go to the worst case scenario. And then what happens is we start thinking about that in our head. Oh my God, is she going to make it or not? I don't know. What's life going to look like? This is going to suck. We say all those things in our head. And those thoughts are what make the cortisol increase. And they're in there. And what we're doing is giving them a voice and letting them out so the cortisol can drop back down. Move to collarbone. Notice how you're feeling now. Can you feel you shifted?
A little bit, yeah. I don't think I've said that out loud at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to say out loud. We don't want to say that out loud because we're afraid we'll create it.
Right.
But it's stuck in it's stuck inside. You've already thought it, and we need to release it. And just notice how you're feeling right now when you're thinking about Jean. And will she live? And move to underarm. And notice your breath. When you're thinking about Jean and will she live, how's your breath now?
It's a little better. I think if I do it this way, then I won't be like covering my windpipe. It's a little, yeah, I can get a little bit of a deeper breath.
Okay, yeah. So 0 to 10, 0, you don't feel it all. It's super easy to breathe. 10, you're really constricted, having a hard time breathing.
I'd say probably a 7. I mean, I actually don't really feel so tight here anymore either.
Yeah, you were a 10, you're down to a 7. So it's not as tight. What does it feel like now when you think about Jean and will she live?
Well, there's still pressure, but it's not blocking my breath the way it was.
Okay. The pressure, is it in the center? Is it on the left, on the right?
Center, yeah.
In the center?
Yep.
And if you had to say, what's putting the pressure on it? Does it feel like a hand or an anvil, or what does it feel like?
It's like a dog sitting on it.
Okay. And move to inside eye. So I'm asking these questions, and our subconscious mind answers. Obviously, Laura doesn't have a dog sitting on her chest right now, but she probably knows that sensation or feeling because she has a dog and it might have sat on her chest before. And move to the outside eye. But even if she didn't, her subconscious is giving that answer to her. And so we're just allowing that to come up and out, and we're just going to say out loud. So Laura, repeat after me. Feels like a dog sitting on my chest.
Feels like a dog sitting on my chest.
Feel and move to under eye. Feels like a dog sitting on my chest.
Feels like a dog sitting on my chest.
It's hard to breathe
It's hard to breathe
with a dog sitting on my chest.
with a dog sitting on my chest.
And move under nose. There's a dog sitting on my chest.
There's a dog sitting on my chest.
You just shifted a little bit. Could you feel that shift?
I actually could. My hand kind of did like a release some energy over here. It shot out.
Awesome. So what's happening now is your body is shifting right in this moment as we're giving a voice to these things. Move to crease and chin. And in your shifting, so your body physically shifts. You said you had something shoot out of your hand, but you also shifted. Like I saw your shift. I didn't see your hand, but I saw something shift in you. And so it's your body like calming down. And that's because we're tapping on the meridian endpoints that help reduce the cortisol. So do you still have a dog sitting on your chest, or is it something else?
No, actually, wow. I mean, there's still a little bit of pressure, but just kind of like if I was running for a long time and came inside that kind.
Okay.
Not something sitting on me, just I still feel a little.
So 0 to 10, 0 you don't feel at all, 10 it's super intense.
Maybe a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just feels like you went out for a run and you're feeling that.
I can still feel some anxiety, but not the way I felt it before.
Okay. So just think about Jean some more. And what if she doesn't live? Just think about that thought and notice what pops in your mind now. Are there new thoughts popping in? Like, well, she might.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of catastrophizing, and now I'm like, well, I don't really know anything yet, so.
Yeah.
And I like logically, I know it doesn't make sense to worry about something that you don't know about yet, but psychologically, it's hard to make that happen.
Yeah. Move to underarm. So what happens is when we can calm our body down, we get out of fight, flight, freeze mode. When we're in fight, flight, freeze mode, we're in that reptilian part of our brain, and we can't think clearly. And we can move to the top of the head. So we can't be in the reptilian part of our brain and the frontal lobe at the same time. And the frontal lobe is where we think clearly, we get ideas, we're able to be creative. And so you're starting to shift because your thoughts are starting to shift, where before you were catastrophizing and now you're realizing, oh, well, I don't have to do that. We don't have test result. We don't know anything right now. And just notice there's something else that happened while I was talking, some other shift. Do you have a new thought come in? Just your body is releasing. Take another deep breath in. And let that out. Let's move to inside eye. And just feel how your chest feels now. Is it still like you went for a run and there's anxiety a little bit in there, or did it shift to something else? It what?
It's pretty open.
Pretty open.
Yeah.
So 0 to 10, 0 you don't feel at all, 10 it's super intense.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going down. It continues to go down. Maybe a 4 now.
Okay. So we could continue to tap on this. This is a great example. So there's a lot of things that we can tap on our own. Like when we're stressed, we can just start tapping and say what our thoughts are. When you're working with a practitioner can help you go even deeper and make sure you get to a 0. So you feel nothing anymore. So you don't feel that anxiety. So you don't feel that pressure on your chest. So you're just completely calm and relaxed. Right now, Laura, I'm just going to encourage you to keep tapping on whatever the thoughts are that come into your mind. and keep feeling that sensation in your chest. And our goal is to get down to a 0 where you are feeling nothing at all there. And it feels way more open and there's no pressure. You're not feeling anxious. And the thoughts will shift in your mind. So you just keep tapping and you keep being aware of the thoughts and the feelings. And you keep going back and forth, thoughts and feelings. And you keep tapping the round thoughts and feelings. And your goal, like I said, is to get to a 0, because that's when you feel free. That's when you can think better about the situation and you'll just be in a better space to communicate with Jean and anyone else. So I hope that was helpful.